We are black, we are beautiful, we are balanced. Say it with me. We are black, we are beautiful, we are balanced. Okay?
What's up, y'all? I am Pierre Javon, and welcome to another episode of Black, Beautiful, and Balanced. All right, y'all. So today we are talking about my birth story. So if you don't know, I am a new mom for the second time. And whenever I tell someone about having my last child, they are like, you need to make a video about this. So here I am. Normally, I don't share like a lot of like details per se. I talk about being a mom because that's my experience. Let's put it that way. And that's what I'm gonna do. Talk about being a mom, becoming a mom for the second time, and everything that happened as I gave birth. So let me set the scene, y'all. Okay, so I am 38 weeks, or maybe 37 weeks and 5 days or something like that. 6 days. I'm approaching 38 weeks. I'm off work. I have PTO for the rest of the week and the beginning of next week, and then my manager is off after that. So even if I come back, I'm still like, kind of coasting mentally. I'm already on maternity leave. I am feeling good. I am rested. I had a long prior week or 2 weeks before. My first child, who was 2 at the time, was sick. We were in the ER. It was a lot of things. So I am finally resting. I have rested my body all day Wednesday. I dropped her off at daycare and I rested until I picked her up. I dropped her off at daycare on Thursday and I rested. I slept until I picked her up. I ate what I wanted and I slept. My body was recovering. I was also sick from my daughter's germs, so that's a whole other story. So I'm sick, I'm very much pregnant, and I'm tired. So I needed about 2 days that I had been resting so far. I went and got me a prenatal massage. I was like, oh my God, if I'm pregnant next week, I'm coming back. Like, it was amazing. I was very zen. Little did I know, my body was zenning me because, honey, we were about to have a baby earlier than expected. I had plans for the next day to get my life together. I was going to do laundry, pack my daughter's bag to stay with my sister, pack my own bag, get all the things together. Friday was the day I was going to get my whole life together. And honey, child, Friday never came. I mean, Friday came, but it didn't matter. My life wasn't together. It didn't matter. So it is Thursday evening. It's 8 o'clock. I have just taken a shower myself. I don't know if I had taken a shower yet. I think I had. But either way, my daughter has taken her bath. We are winding down. It's about to be bedtime. And I'm sitting down. I'm in the bathroom or in the room, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like, having a little pain here and there. Is this Braxton Hicks? I'm like, okay. Texting my friend, shout out to Cece, my mommy buddy. And I'm like, I'm having Braxton Hicks. And she was like, well, if you can, sit down or stand up, switch positions, take a shower, and they go away, it's probably Braxton Hicks. So I did all those things. I laid down. I sat a different way. I took a shower, took 2 showers. And I'm like, okay, it's not Braxton Hicks. We may be having contractions. So it's time to take my daughter to bed. I take her to bed every night. That's my thing. So at 8:30. So at 8:30, while I'm taking her upstairs, we're upstairs, I'm gathering her stuff here and here. I'm gathering some of my stuff downstairs. We might need to get a bag together. I'm putting her clothes in a bag, all the things, washcloth, everything I could get in the bag, I'm doing it. I take her to bed, and then I come back downstairs and I start kind of doing the same for myself. But I'm starting to feel like, ooh, I'm really having contractions, let me get my life together. There was some tension in the air in my house from the current week, so I was kind of like, to my husband, who I just said to him, I'm having contractions. We might need to mentally be like prepared. I'm having contractions. He was kind of like, oh, okay, really wasn't thinking much of it. Because mind you, my first child, I labored at home pretty much all day. I had contractions for a long time. All day. We didn't go to the hospital until 1 a.m. So yeah, we were all, it was an all-nighter type of thing. So I think he was thinking like, okay, you're having contractions. Who, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Also, women, we aren't as dramatic, so it's kind of like, are you really having contractions? But I digress. Anyway, so the contractions continue. They stay the same. I'm texting my doula, called her, texting her, like telling her, what's going on. She's like, monitor them. I got my little contraction app. I had to download right quick, child, because I was not ready. But my contractions were like on and off, like 2 minutes here, 3. They were coming like every 2 or 3 minutes, but they weren't like, they were just steady. They weren't like intensifying. But it was just like a contraction. They just kept on rolling. The thing with the contraction app though is that you are like having the contraction and you're supposed to be pushing the timer. So I can't even really tell you I feel like they were very consistent. They weren't like ever more intense or super quick. But it's also like when I look at my app, sometimes I know that I had a contraction, but dang, I forgot to push the button. You know, I didn't time it right. Or like, oh, is this the beginning or is this the end? Does that count as the end? You know, like it was that type of thing. So whatever, but that's a story for another day. So I feel like the contractions are steady. They're not getting more intense, but I'm like, okay, you know, they're steady. So like we need to be getting things together. So I told my husband at like, probably like 10 p.m., maybe 10:30. I was like, I need you to go put some food together for my daughter, like for her lunch and stuff to take with her breakfast or whatever. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because we're going to have to go to the hospital probably before she goes, you know, before the morning for breakfast. And he's like, what makes you think we having a baby tonight? And I'm like, please go put the food in the container, basically. So we're doing that. I'm telling him like, we're going to have to go. Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to go. And this is like 11:30-ish. I would say we're like, okay, we're going. There's an hour that's unaccounted for. I personally am going to blame my husband. I mean, why not when all else fails? But I am, because I know that I was swaying in the kitchen trying to manage my pain and contractions. And I had stopped being able to do a lot of things. So I was telling him, can you go grab this? Can you go put this in the bag? You know, whatever. So there's an hour that I'm like, maybe he was running around. I don't really know what happened for an hour. But I digress. So here we are. It is 12:55 a.m. I'm out in the garage waiting for him to bring my daughter downstairs, put her in the car so we can take her with us. My sister gonna meet us, take her, and meet us at the hospital across town, mind you, 30 minutes away, because it's hard to find a good OBGYN. And I like my OBGYN, black lady, deliver my first child. I didn't want to switch. So in my mind, which I told him this at 10:30, 11, like 11:30, we need to go. Because we have to drop her off and get there. You know, I don't want to be too late. My last doctor's appointment, they had just told me, you know, your second child could come faster. My brother is my brother is the second child, but he's after me. He came super fast. So in my mind, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot not, you know, be prepared basically. And so, and also I had just missed my last ultrasound appointment. I was late and they said the ultrasound technician was backed up. So I only got to meet my doctor. So I was scheduled to have another ultrasound like the next day. So I was already like, with my situation. Anyway, it's 12:50. I'm in the garage. I'm swaying. I'm like, you know, whatever. My husband brings my daughter in the car. She's in the car. She's like, y'all don't woke me up, you know, at 1 a.m. What's going on? I'm trying to like keep her calm because she's very, you know, she's talking good and stuff. I'm like, mommy's okay. Mommy's okay. You know, I'm moaning, but I'm trying not to scare her. And I'm just swaying, trying to stay calm. Who knows what my husband is doing inside? I'm just kind of get annoyed just talking about it. And he finally comes out and he's ready to go. And I'm like, I cannot get in the car. I had just got told my mom, telling her I'm going to the hospital. Had just called my sister and I'm like, we're about to go, who she thought we would be like almost there, because she's trying to make sure she's not the hold up. She's trying to beat us there basically. And I feel like she was kind of like, y'all are still at home. But I told him I can't get in the car. I can't sit down. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I take off through the house. The bathroom is like right after you open the garage door. There's a half bath. I go in the half bath. I sit on the toilet and I reach back, and full disclosure, TMI, I had been having hemorrhoids. I thought it was my hemorrhoids, but it was her head. She was coming out. So I reach back and I feel her head. My water bursts, a bubble. I don't even know how to explain it. It's very like out of body. I kept replaying it in my mind so I wouldn't forget it afterwards. But I felt her head coming out and I had the urge to push. And I pushed and I roared and I was like, Rick! He came running into the house. He said he didn't see her head hanging out, but her head was out. And I was like, you have to help me pull her out. And he was like, no. And I'm like, and he says, what do you need? What can I do? And I said, go get some towels. So he goes upstairs to get towels. While he's running upstairs, he's calling 911 to tell them I'm having a baby. By the time he gets downstairs with the towels, I have had the baby. I pushed her out one more time. And let me just backtrack a little bit. When I had my first daughter and I had epidural, you start to get the sensation and feeling of pushing, but you also get why people come out with like a cone head or whatever when you keep pushing and contraction and like not getting all the way out. So in my mind, I remember that moment that I felt that with my first daughter, that like, I gotta push this time. She has got to come out. She cannot keep coming back in like that. So mind you, this child, my daughter now, her head is out. So I'm just like, I push unaware that I really was pushing her all the way out, honestly. And she kind of was just coming out. Like, it was like there was no going back, basically. And so he comes back downstairs. I'm holding her in my arms. He's like, oh my God. He's telling the person on the phone, the baby is here. The baby is here. Because they're giving instructions on how to deliver a baby. And it's like, bro, you're late. She had a baby. Yeah, she had a baby. yeah, she had a baby in the bathroom by herself, child. It was crazy. She had the baby. yeah, she had the baby. But so the paramedic is like, I can't hear you guys, calm down, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm calm, but I'm holding a baby and I can't really hear you on speakerphone. Like, it was just like a little chaotic, but I was calm. When she came out, she was silent. That scared me. She opened her eyes and she looked dead at me, and I'm getting chills just saying it. And my eyes just watered and I just started crying. She was just staring at me. And I was just like, oh my God. And whenever I tell people the story, they're like, oh, so the umbilical cord wasn't wrapped around nothing. I mean, no. And that never crossed my mind. Of course, you think of all the things that could go wrong at home, but like, it never crossed my mind because it happened so fast, so easily, dare I say. And it's like, your body knows what to do. Now, granted, I never wanted to have a natural birth, but when I had my first child, I understand how people do it. Like, I understand how adrenaline, I understand mind over matter, but what I don't understand, or what I did not want to do, is the contraction, laboring part that you naturally have to go through. That could be 20 hours when you have a natural birth. Oh, no. She's not doing that. And even when I had contractions this last time, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. I can't believe I'm doing this again. Because contractions suck. However, she was coming so quickly that the birth was the easy part. Like, it just was. And my doula told me I had a precipitous birth, which is when you have a birth in less than 5 or 6 hours. But funny thing, TikTok showed me that more people express their precipitous birth of the baby falling out, like sliding out. Like, some people were on an epidural and they didn't even know the baby had came out and the doctor wasn't in there and the baby was in between their legs. Some people was like, they got on an elevator and the baby came out. They didn't make it to the room. And I'm like, that's what it was. That is what it was for me. She was coming out, like, she was falling out. Like, and people say it's like, I just had to make sure she didn't hit the toilet. Like, and also it was a very clean delivery. I mean, the afterbirth, the water went in the toilet, the baby came out. It's a very good situation. And we're talking about a little half bath under the steps. There's nothing but a triangle catty corner countertop and a toilet. And I gripped that countertop and I reached back there and I grabbed her. I did my Kourtney Kardashian, I pulled her out myself. Shout out to Tiana Taylor too, having babies in the bathroom. No big deal. But yeah, she was here. She was gorgeous. She was breathing. She was fine. She didn't make a big cry to the hospital, which kind of scared me. But the paramedics kept reassuring me. Like, if something was wrong, they would tell me. But it's like, okay, you keep reassuring me and you make me think something's wrong. But okay, I'm going to rock with you. So the paramedics was here super quick. So funny, the firefighters came. I guess that's like protocol. And they were all white men. And they had some dumb things to say. Like, one of the men was like, are we taking the baby with us? It's like, and I think he was new because they were telling him some stuff. But it's like, no, we're not leaving the baby here. But when the women paramedics got there, they was like, okay, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Are you this? Are you that? The women was calling the shots. I get to the hospital. I had to deliver the placenta, which goes back to what I mean when I say I understand people doing natural birth, but there's a lot of things that I just ain't with. When that adrenaline goes down, delivering that placenta was not pleasant. She pushed on my stomach and I screamed. I was like, I know I just had a baby by myself, but what are you doing? This is a little rough. So the placenta was not pleasant delivering that, but we made it through. Overall, we stayed there for one night just to check her vitals the next day and make sure everything was good. And we went home. And it's crazy because people go on FaceTime kept saying, you do not like you had a baby. And it's like, well, I didn't stay at the hospital for 3 days. When you stay at the hospital for 3 days, that wears on you. Granted, it ain't like I got a full night's sleep with them when I got home, but I'm back home. It was just different. Like, it wasn't an exhaustive experience. And I also noticed my recovery for the next days or weeks was better than the epidural. And not like that I had complications from the epidural, but I just felt a lot better, like, after having her naturally, by myself. And I'm thankful, grateful, for the experience. I never in a million years thought I would do that. Everybody's like, oh my God, girl. No, you don't. And, people set out to have a natural birth. I did not. That was not my ministry. That was not my calling. I mean, clearly it was my calling and clearly it was my ministry, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't what I was trying to do. So it's like, I understand the sentiment, but I never thought I would do that. When I had my first child, I had a mantra. I said to myself all the time, God did not create me with the spirit of fear. I used to say that all the time because I'm like, I'm having a baby and I'm scared. And that was with the epidural. That was with everything I had in place. So I never thought I would do this, but I did it. And she did it. She did that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel so blessed. I feel like I have nothing to prove to anyone. Not that I ever felt like I did have anything to prove. But I feel like I have a great birth story for my daughter to tell her. Another funny thing is I was so caught up in the stress of my first child becoming a sibling, a big sister, and not being the only child. I mean, it had concerned me to no end. Mainly because I'm a second child and I have a brother right under me. So I don't know my life without him. And I felt like, how do you do this and you don't consider the child? Not don't consider the child, but the child gets no say in this. I just decided they're going to be a big sister. And then I was thinking, then you just wake up one day, like if we have the baby in the middle of the night, like we did, she might wake up and her parents are gone for 3 days. Her mom is gone. They come back with a baby. Like, I just feel like this is too much for me. I cannot do this to my baby. So it's so funny because it's like God laughed at me because we didn't have to do any of that. Granted, did my daughter understand everything that was happening? Probably not, but she understood a lot. She understood this baby that we've been talking about in mommy's tummy. I see it now. It's here because my husband went back and got her out the car. So he goes to get her out the car and brings her in. So they're in the living room while I'm with the paramedic in the little small area we were in. And she got to kind of connect, like, this baby we were talking about is here. And, you know, she got a little scared, like, oh, my God, what's going on? But she also replayed the whole night to me 3 weeks later. She was like, oh, your baby sister hurt your tummy? And you was like, oh, I'm okay. She was, like, moaning. She was reenacting it. She was like, you went into the bathroom. So it's like, all that I was worried about, I didn't need to be worried about. She was here. Will she remember it? I don't know. But she was here to witness it. We have a picture with her and her baby sister, 30 minutes after she was born, which she wasn't allowed to come to the hospital. So had we been in the hospital, she wouldn't even seen her baby sister for days. Now, she still had to adjust, don't get me wrong. But it's just so silly that we came back a day later. She got to spend the night with her cousins and have a little fun. Like, it warmed my heart that my baby had a pleasant experience with us having a new baby. Like, yeah, I could cry thinking about this. But I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to do a part 2 on the postpartum experience because that's a whole nother thing in itself. But I really want to make this video because I haven't made a video in a while. It's been hard getting back into it, and I felt like this was the most natural video to make. Like, let's skip out on the elephant in the room. And also, I don't tell everyone that I had the baby this way. Like, I talk to people and I just say, like, my husband be like, yeah, bro, we had the baby at the house, and then I have to tell the story. But for me, it's just like, I had a baby at the house. It's wild. It's as crazy to you as it is to me. Never thought I would do it. Amazing that I did. And love my little baby. So like I said, we'll do part 2, the postpartum journey. So make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are a mom and you have had a baby any way that you have had it, you are amazing. Don't let anybody tell you any different. You don't get no special award for doing anything, choosing one thing over the other. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back next time for part 2. Thank y'all for watching. See you next time.
We are black, we are beautiful, we are balanced. Say it with me. We are black, we are beautiful, we are balanced.